welcome back to Maniacal Reader. I'm going to show you more books that I got at BEA / Barnes & Noble / Half Price Books when I was in Chicago. I think this is part 5 of the haul. The first book I wanted to show you is The Redemption of Callie and Caden by Jessica Sorensen. This is the second book in her new adult contemporary romance series. I found this book at Barnes & Noble. I hauled the first book, The Coincidence of Callie and Caden, a few months back, and I haven't read that book yet. Since I know that I will probably like this series, I decided to pick up the sequel in case I do like it. This book obviously follows the romance of Callie and Caden and the struggles that they go through as a couple, as well as with their family and their other relationships. The next book I want to show you is Dead Simple by Peter James. This is a book that I found at BEA. This is an adult mystery book. I believe it's a standalone, although it may be part of a series. I'm not sure. I think it's best if I read the short synopsis on the back so you guys can get the full effect of what this book is about. It was meant to be a harmless stag night prank. A few hours later, Michael Harrison has disappeared and 4 of his friends are dead. With only 3 days to the wedding, Detective Superintendent Roy Grace, a man haunted by the shadow of his missing wife, is contacted by Michael's beautiful, distraught fiancée, Ashley Harper. Grace discovers that the one man who ought to know Michael Harrison's whereabouts is saying nothing, but then he has a lot more to gain than anyone realizes. For one man's disaster is another man's fortune. It looks like this book is the first book in a British crime series. The next book I want to show you is The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. This is an arc that I found at BEA that I thought was interesting. This is a YA science fiction book, and I believe it'll be on sale sometime in 2016. From what I can tell, it seems to me that a diabolic is some mechanical space creature or something like that. This book is about space, and there's probably some political intrigue. So this book sounds really interesting. I don't read that many books about space, but I picked this book up on a whim. Hopefully I like it. The next book I have here is Frost Like Night by Sarah Roche. This is the third and final book in the Snow Like Ashes trilogy. This is a YA fantasy trilogy. Now I haven't read Snow Like Ashes yet, so I don't know much about this book. A lot of people on BookTube have been raving about this trilogy, so I went ahead and got this book at BEA. I thought it looked interesting. The next book I have to show you is The Perfect Girl by Gilly Macmillan. This is an adult mystery book. The synopsis is complicated, so I'm just going to read it for you guys. Zoe Macy is a 17-year-old musical prodigy with a genius IQ. 3 years ago, she was involved in a tragic incident that left 3 classmates dead. She served her time, and now her mother, Marie, is resolved to keep that devastating fact tucked far away from their new beginning, hiding the past even from her new husband and demanding Zoe do the same. Tonight, Zoe is giving a recital that Maria has been planning for months. It needs to be the performance of her life. But instead, by the end of the evening, Marie is dead. In the aftermath, everyone, police, family, Zoe's former solicitor, and Zoe herself, tries to piece together what happened. But as Zoe knows all too well, the truth is rarely straightforward, and the closer we are to someone, the less we may see. Unfolding over a span of 24 hours through 3 compelling narratives, The Perfect Girl is gripping, surprising, and emotionally complex. A richly layered look at loyalty, second chances, and the way secrets unravel us all. It looks like this book is definitely complicated, and since I don't really read mystery books, this book book sounded like the perfect one to get into. This is an arc that I found at BEA, so I'm not sure when this book is getting released, but this book is definitely intriguing, and I assume I'll be on the edge of my seat reading it. I can't wait. Next up, I have The Rules of Survival by Nancy Werlin. This is a YA realistic fiction read. Matt and his sisters every day have no choice but to deal with their mother's violent and ever-changing moods. Matt sees a guy named Murdoch protect another child from an abusive family, and he hopes that Murdoch can find a way to help his family as well. Murdoch and Matt's mother begin dating, and it seems that her moods are stable for now. But when the relationship ends, Matt knows that he should take action. He's wondering if he can trust Murdoch or if he'll have to take fate into his own hands. This book sounds really intriguing, and it definitely follows the struggle of this family and everything that they go through. It sounds to me like Matt's mother may have bipolar disorder, but that's only a guess. I believe I found this book at Half Price Books. It was definitely a good pick. The next book I have to show you is 7 Days of You by Cecilia Vanesi. This book is a YA contemporary novel, and from the looks of the cover, it looks like a cutesy contemporary. This is an arc that I found at BEA, and it won't be released until March 2017. This book follows a girl named Sophia, who has 7 days left in Tokyo before she moves back to the States. She has 7 days to say goodbye to her friends and the boy she's had a semi-crush on for years. She has 7 perfect days until she meets Jamie Foster Collins, and that's when everything changes. Jamie and Sophia both have a history of heartbreak, and the last thing she wants is for him to steal her leaving thunder with his arriving thunder. Throughout those 7 days, the relationships that Sophia thought was stable begin to explode around her. This book sounds like an awesome contemporary to read, since I don't really know anything about Tokyo at all, and I'm curious to see how Sophia's relationship blossoms with Jamie, and also how her other relationships that she's come to depend on start to crumble. This novel takes place within a 7-day time period. I'm interested to see how things are handled since everything changes so quickly. I'll have to see if I like this one. The next book I have to show you is The Sudden Appearance of Hope by Claire North. This is a YA contemporary book. It's about this girl who's appeared suddenly, but no one seems to remember her. But she remembers people all forgetting her. It all started when she was 16 years old. I also find that vagueness and mysteriousness intriguing, so hopefully I like this book. It definitely sounds like something I would read. The next book I have to show you here is Going Wild by Lisa McMahon. This is the first book in a middle grade fantasy series. It follows this girl named Charlie Wilde. When her family moves across the country, she discovers a mysterious bracelet. After she puts it on, she has the speed of a cheetah and the strength of an elephant. Charlie must trust her new friends and learn how to control her powers while discovering the truth behind this new device. I'm not really sure what to think of this book. I don't really read middle grade that often, but I love Lisa McMahon's YA paranormal trilogies, her Wake trilogy, as well as her Crash trilogy, so I wanted to give her new series a try. I actually had the chance to meet Lisa McMahon for the first time, and she signed all of the books that I own by her. She seems really nice, and she liked the fact that I have my own booktube channel, which is cool. I hope to put a review up of this book closer to the release date. It sounds like it could be interesting, even though I don't really read a lot of middle grade. I might find something I like about this book. The next book I want to show you is The 100 Lies of Lizzie Lovett by Chelsea Sadati. This is an adult mystery book. I believe it's a standalone. Hawthorne never wanted to insert herself into a missing persons investigation. Lizzie Lovett's disappearance is fascinating to the sleepy town that she comes from, but Hawthorne believes that she'll show up at any moment. What better way to solve a mystery than to insert yourself into the life of that person who's disappeared? She inserts herself into Lizzie's life, and the story unfolds from there. Even though this is an adult mystery book, to me it sounds like it could have a humorous tone to it, because anything could happen to Hawthorne now that she's decided to insert herself into Lizzie's life. We'll have to wait and see. The next book I have here is Fate's Hand by Melissa McPhee. This book follows a girl named Brenwyn McAllister. She's come back home to her grandmother, the only relative she has left in Salem. When she returns home, she finds out that her family is harboring a secret that's more powerful than she's ever imagined. Things get more complicated when she meets Alexander, who's harboring his own secrets, ones that he's kept hidden for 600 years. This book sounds like it's a YA paranormal fantasy series about witches, and since I love paranormal fantasy books, I decided to pick this one up. This is an arc of a book that I found at BEA. Next up, I have Stealing Snow by Danielle Page. This book follows a girl named Snow who has spent the majority of her life in a mental institution called the Whitaker Institute in upstate New York. Snow has always felt that she's not crazy and she doesn't belong there. So when she starts dreaming of strange and twisted trees, she knows that she's meant to escape. She ends up escaping into these snowy woods, and reality and fantasy start to blur. Snow learns that she is a princess and heir to a throne. This book is supposed to be released on September 27th, 2016. The second last book I have here is Someone I Wanted to Be by Aurelia Wills. This is a YA contemporary book. This is an arc that I found at BEA. This book follows a girl named Leah. Leah has always dreamed of becoming a doctor, but it's hard to focus when boys keep making oinking noises to her, and her mother is hardly encouraging. Leah's best friends are skinny, and they spend a lot of time getting attention from boys. And the girls convince an older guy they call Mr. Corduroy to buy them a beer. Leah secretly calls him later, pretending to be one of her friends named Christy. They develop a relationship, talking and texting after a while, but then things take a dangerous turn. This book sounds like it could be a YA realistic fiction book from the sounds of it. Since I want to get into more YA contemporary, this sounds like a book that's right up my alley. I can't wait to see what will happen to Leah and her friends. The last book in my BEA haul is called The Crossing by Rochelle Decker. This is an adult science fiction dystopian book. Carrington is ripped from her family and is forced to spend her remaining days as a lint, the lowest level of society, because she knows she's meant to obey the authority. This book sounds like an adult version of the Matched trilogy by Ali Condi. Hopefully there's more action and more interesting twists in this book. That is finally the end of all of the books that I've got at BEA and Barnes & Noble and half-price books while I was in Chicago. I think I'm going to be putting myself on a book buying ban. This ban will include any future series that I want to get, excluding series that I'm reading at the moment that I don't have sequels to. There were so many books to feast your eyes on, but I like having a nice collection, so hopefully I'll decide on which book to read. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!